And so I'm really, really, really trying to um this is the thing. You go through life. I have what's called younger sibling syndrome, where people constantly think they're older than me when they aren't. I don't know what it is. But, like, I always tell this story as an example. One time, a guy was sitting down with me going, "You'll know when you own your own home." He had owned his own home for, like, a year. He goes, "You'll see when you own your own home, this, and that, you could do this." And I was like, point of order, I've owned my own home for 19 years. What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, how old are you?" And I'm like, "A lot older than you, but you think I'm young." It's like, not just do people think I'm young, but they think, like, because I don't trip on people and act like I know a whole lot, like, right off the bat, that's not the first impression that I wanna lay on people. They think that they need to impart wisdom on me. Wrong. I'm very wise. I'm super old. I'm just not acting like it, okay? So back off. One time this dude came to my door selling something. He goes, "What's up, bro? Is your mom or dad home?" And I was like, "Yeah, 3 or 4 states over, my man. You got what do you want?" He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, I own this house. Get out. Leave." It's very upset by that. But, I've come to accept it. I used it to my advantage on the job a lot. I had a lot of bosses who just assumed that they were gonna be like, "Oh, okay, well, Matt's a good kid." I was like, "Yeah, okay, we can go with that." Versus Matt's been doing this a while and is probably bored, burnt, doesn't wanna be here anymore. They instead are like, "He's a bright kid. He's got a long way to go." "Okay, bring me along." 'Cause on the inside, I'm super over this. Anyway, you know, you buy off 3 cars, 4 cars, 2 houses, just want people to, treat you like a grown up, okay? I'm doing grown up shit. Give me some credit, people. Oh, my crap detector is going. Not yet, not yet, not yet. I'll tell you when we've officially started. I'll tell you. Please, chill. I'll tell you when we've officially started with the lies. So far, no lies, no lies. Um, I think what I want is that, um it really did start out with a show where I could tell lies and tell stories and people would detect lies. I wanted to do that real bad just because I thought it was important to detect lies, but now it's just like I wanna see if I can win. I'll be honest. I wanna see if I can win. And what I do is I tell you there's a couple in here that you could be like, "Well, I don't know if that's true or not. It's kinda dull." It could be. I don't know. And then maybe there's 1 or 2 stories in here tonight where you're like, "That is definitely a lie." Is it? Yeah, it gets a little weird. So, anyway, anyone can just this is where I sort of cheat. Anyone can just tell you one thing and you can go, "That sounds like bullshit." But if somebody tells you 4 things and one of them is definitely not true, that's where it gets tricky. And so that's why I think it's a little Oh, man. I did a, um I did a video Zoom call with someone the other day, and they were like, "Wow, you're sunburned." And I was like, It's just South Carolina." The sa the sandbar lie is the one that got me. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I okay, so that was funny to me. I did a little clip from that for TikTok where I said, I was telling the story and I said, "And so later that night, we had clams for dinner. Oh, by the way, I got out of this. Spoiler, I lived." I thought that was funny. Anyway, yeah, that was a good one. How about the um Yeah, what else? This is the thing, I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day, and I couldn't think of any of the stories or lies that I had told. Like, I just blocked them all out. I mean, the last time we did this was, like, June 6th. So it's over 2 months. It's been a while. Yeah, that one got complicated because we did, like, a bonus round and yeah, anyway, they're fun. They're fun. Okay, so look, one thing I wanna tell you guys, I may have talked about this a little bit, I'm not sure. Um, I have finished my latest novella, and I'm happy with it. I never know what people are gonna think, but I'm happy with it. I had the ending in mind, but not how it would end, if that makes sense. And the more I wrote it, the more I was like, "Oh, it's coming about. It's working itself out. The ending is just gonna naturally come about if I keep writing." And so that's when I really started cooking. That's when I really started writing it. I got very happy. That's when I got happy. So I got to the point where, is there somebody we should be subbing to? Give me the link, LT9K. Somebody give me the link. Put it in the chat. Let's sub it up. I call a book a novella because I want people to understand that it's not a novel. It's a lot shorter than that. Morbius Dragon, thank you for gifting one Letterhack membership. And so what we do when there's some writing to be or reading to be done is we reserve Friday nights at 10 p.m. for that. And so those will be coming back. So wait for that. Okay, guys, we're gonna shift gears. This is good. Joining me now, Pete Hager. Pete, hello, how are you?
Good to see you, sir. It's been a while. It's been a day. Obviously, it's been quite a few busy months, to say the least. And I
Yeah.
apologize. This studio always comes first for Jen. She actually was on. Some of you, it's funny. Some people in the audience might actually have seen where Jen was tonight. She was part of the barnstorming call for Jose Vega, who's running for Congress against the other top APAC screwball, Richie Torres. So
Aha. Okay.
needless to say, it'll be very interesting, depending on what happens in the next 8 days, and hopefully, we make it happen.
Okay,
How's
let's do this. Let's bring everyone up to speed. From Pete is joining us from the Jen Perlman campaign in Florida's 25th congressional district, where Jen is attempting for the second time to primary Democratic incumbent and APAC recipient Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Look, election day is Tuesday, August 20th, correct?
that is correct.
And early voting is happening now until Saturday the 17th. Is that right?
Sunday the
Sunday.
18th. Yep.
Sunday the 18th. Okay, so look, Pete, I asked you to come on the show because you hit me up with a DM today. You need volunteers on the phones, correct? Please tell
Oh,
folks,
yes.
tell us what's at stake and how they can help out this week, because this is it, right?
This is the home stretch. We definitely have a chance to win this race for a number of reasons. The first of which is the ground game. As of Saturday, we have knocked on over 40,000 doors. In this past week, we hit just under 7,500. So it's been a very strong ramp up over the last 2.5, 3 months. And our goal is to obviously get over 50,000 doors knocked by the time we get to Election Day. Another reason why Jen definitely has a chance is because vote by mail numbers have been very low, and that is Debbie's bread and butter for obvious reasons, based on the demographic that she focuses on, and just the fact that she's been there for over 20 years and doesn't gain new support, she just loses it. And we've also been very fortunate. Fundraising has been good. It hasn't been incredible. Of course, everyone would like to have that. But of course, Jen really is an outsider trying to break through into this very broken system. So despite that, we actually have done pretty well on that front. And we've been able to send out 3 mailers over the course of the past 3 months. And we also have been doing a text blasting campaign. So we did a poll almost 2 months ago, and Jen was at 41%. So our campaign manager at the time said there's definitely blood in the water. to even be within a 9-point flip of a sitting incumbent before our ground game really took off is definitely a good sign. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen, but I think we've got a puncher's chance over the next 8 days. And so
Great.
right now, there are thousands upon thousands of ballots that are out there in the district. They haven't been collected yet. We want to get them collected for Jen. So we need people anywhere in the country to get on the phones and what we call ballot chasing. There's a very basic script and it's a very basic ask. And usually when you think about phone banking and when it has the most value is when there is actually a call to action. A lot of times people phone back and just say, hey, we really want you to support this candidate. Yeah, that's all nice and good or well and good. But in this case, it really is, you've got a ballot. You haven't sent it in yet. We need you to fill out the ballot for Jen Perlman and bring it to your local polling station over the next 7 days.
Okay, so the easiest way for people to do that, I have a link in my chat. It's pinned right now. The easiest way is for people to go to the volunteer section on the website, on the official website, fill out their info and select phone banking, right?
You can do that, or you can also drop my email, which I will do in the chat in case anybody just wants to get to me directly, and I will filter it as it needs to be to the proper people. Peter at gen2024.org. Just send it there, and any assistance you can provide would be tremendously appreciated. It really makes a difference. I know a lot of people think that you can't do it, but many hands make light work. Now, even though I will probably, when it's all said and done, knock on somewhere in excess of about 3,500 or 4,000 doors individually, but I'm also a madman. I think we've definitely got a chance. And I think with everything going on in the country right now, we really need somebody who can get in there that is going to inspire, that's actually going to try to do something different than anybody else has been doing. And it would also be nice to get that vile scum out of politics once and for all, because she just represents the very worst of everything that we're trying to do better for ourselves and for each other in this country.
Now, she is one of the highest recipients of AIPAC funding. Is that right? Do I have that right,
Yeah.
or has that changed?
Wasserman Schultz and the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives is in the top 5 or top 7, I believe.
Wow.
Okay. She's taken right around $1 million from AIPAC, and from the Israel lobby, I think it's like 1.5 or something like that. It's an insane amount of money, because when you look at the representatives that take 7 figures from AIPAC, they're usually senators. Obviously, Adam Schiff is an exception. Richie Torres is an exception. You know, you have a few people sprinkled in there that are in the House that have a substantial amount of war chest money. Wesley Bell, obviously, who just unfortunately unseated Cory Bush, he takes a substantial amount of money. And obviously, George Latimer took millions upon millions of dollars to get Jamal Bowman out. But there's really not that many that are ahead of Wasserman Schultz. And on top of everything else, the one thing that Wasserman Schultz has that a lot of other representatives don't have is that she basically has Netanyahu on speed dial, and has been that way since she came into Congress over 20 years ago. And so shortly after Chuck Schumer, of all people, made the speech on the Senate floor that we have to do something about this massacre, that was when Wasserman Schultz took a trip with about 6 or 7 other representatives, and she was the person who stood next to Netanyahu in the publicity photo that went around the entire world. So to say that it would be nice to get rid of her would be an understatement. I would say it's more of a necessity at this point. So like I said, any assistance that could be provided would be obviously tremendously appreciated. It would make my life a little bit easier. So if you feel like having a little sympathy for me and all the sleepless nights that I've had over the past several weeks, but believe me, it's worth it. Win or lose, I'm glad I did it, because I believe in Jen that much, and I believe in unseating Wasserman Schultz that much. But if you feel any inspiration and you want to get involved, we'd love to have you guys join us for the final home stretch.
How many people are you looking for? Obviously, as many as possible, but if you had 50 people, how many calls would they each have to make? Like, give us a estimate.
Well, think about this. Obviously, you could be calling from your phone. You could also do Google Voice if you would like. And so my goal is to try to get somewhere between, I said by the time we got to the home stretch, I wanted to have something between 100 and 200 volunteers involved in the campaign for the final shot. And so, in terms of the amount of people that we have on the ground right now that are knocking on doors between paid canvassers and volunteers, it's somewhere between probably 40 and 50 people. In terms of people that are on the phones right now, it's probably a couple of dozen. So we would like to get at least another 25 people, I would say, on the phones and making over the course of, let's say, a 2 hour shift, for example. You should be able to make somewhere between, I would say, 50 to 75 calls. And remember, a lot of time it's just a speech. You're just, working off of, a basic script. There really isn't that much to it. And even when you get somebody on the phone, it's really just a matter of asking them, we have an opportunity to win this race. Jen is polling in the 40s. We would really like to see change. And the biggest issue that most people are dealing with, which of course is I would say with more than anything else, we're all dealing with the housing crisis in some form, shape or form around this country right now. And so down here, it is a crisis of epic proportions. You have the HOA reassessments, you have the insurance crisis, you have the mortgage rates, you have the rent spikes, you have it all. And on top of that, Wasserman Schultz has taken over 100,000 this election cycle alone from the real estate industry, led by, of all people, Blackstone. So to say that we got to get around, yeah, we got to get around. And so if you want to lend a hand, please do. We would like as many people as possible that want to come on board.
That's awesome, man. You are fighting a good fight. I got to tell you how much it makes me feel. So look, we all need hopium. We're all fighting and fighting and fighting, and our wins are few, and we have losses like Bowman and Bush that really hurt, but we got to keep fighting. And it does my heart good to know that folks like you are behind the scenes making it happen. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about this with us. I'm sure we can get 25 more people to help out, if not more. Let's really make a big push. A couple hours isn't a big deal. Look, put down the video games, okay? Put down the
Yeah,
comic
got a
books, get on the
chance to make
phones,
a
make a
real
difference.
impact.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anything else that we should know or you want to talk about?
I would say I appreciate what you do. The Stan Lee image is just fantastic. I can't help but stare at it. It's just such a good one.
That's from my mom.
Yeah, anything that that's the thing about art, is that it's really supposed to be soothing. It's supposed to bring out the best emotions in us. It doesn't always bring out the best people, but that's the art, that's the industry in general.
Yeah.
But I've always admired what you've done. The fact
Thank
that
you.
you were able to draw me the way that you did, I hadn't seen somebody draw me like that since I was like 12. So
Okay.
it just goes to show you, it is a real skill. It is very impressive, and you guys are great. And obviously keep up the amazing work. I don't know how much longer you're going to be going live, but I am going live on Pontificating with Pete on Generational Change right now. Maybe about an hour. I'm not going to be that late. I mean, it's already late enough as it is. But like I said, Jen had a number of events this evening. She had a speaking engagement in a very important community in the district. And then she was part of the Jose Vega barnstorming call. And now I'm here with you. And now I'm going to go on my channel, do a little bit more. But somehow I will find the way to get, I'll say, 7 hours of sleep tonight. I promise myself I'll get at least that.
You got to. Look, thank you so much for coming on real quick. Thank you for all that you do once again. It really is a big deal. You are actively trying to make the world a better place, and we all applaud you for it. We're going to do what we can. We got a good community here.
Yeah, you do.
So, at any rate, good luck. We are all rooting for you, and we are all rooting for Jen. Please tell her that we got her back.
Amen, brother. You guys have a great evening. Thanks as always, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks. Take care, Pete. Hey, that was cool. You never know who's going to show up. Look, we got to do this. We got to get this one done. Okay. It's a